Well, hello again everyone, and I'd like to welcome you to a video about our Tollycraft 34 Sports Sedan, which is now for sale in Vancouver, BC. This is a boat that's very close to my heart. I've been involved with her over 3 owners. She underwent 2 massive 1-year yard periods where she was refit or actually completely rebuilt from the keel up. She's got newer Cummins factory reman 6BT 5.9 diesel engines with new transmissions and trolling valves. All of her tankage, fuel, and water is new. She's in superb condition. The refit that she went through was exhaustive. I was there for all of it and helped design and install quite a lot of the equipment that's on the boat today. She has custom stainless steel struts and rudders. Her shafts and propellers were replaced. She has spare propellers and a spare propeller shaft. A very powerful Lumar bow thruster, if you watch the video you can see how quickly it can move the bow of the boat around, was installed. She has a terrific cabin heating system and remains warm in all climates. There's a custom-built bridge heating system which uses jacket water heat from one of the engines to keep you nice and warm on the bridge, which extends your boating season. Throughout the video, you will see our contact information appear, and if you look below the video in the description section, you will find all pertinent details, including our contact information, pricing on the vessel, and any other details you might like. Feel free to reach out at any time, and we will endeavor to respond to you as quickly as possible to get you up here to take a look at the boat. This is going to be an incredibly detailed presentation where we are going to go through every aspect of this boat. We're going to spend significant time in the exterior, the interior details. I'm going to go into the engine room and try to demonstrate all of the extra touches that make this boat special and why she's so worthy of your consideration. I'm going to ask you to be patient with me because I've been on this boat for so many years, and I am going to do my very best to give you this information in an accurate and orderly manner which is easy to understand. Truly, she must be seen to be appreciated. Anyone in the market for a great sportfish style boat like this in a smaller size, she's definitely worth taking a look at. I really hope you enjoy the video. If you stick around to the end, there will be a sea trial portion where you can see how well she goes and a look at the dinghy, which is available as an extra item. I hope you enjoy. Well, we'll start our inspection of the vessel at the exterior. She has a very generous cockpit and she shows very well. All of her woodwork, which really externally is only the steps to the Flybridge, are covered by sunbrella. The swim grid is wide and there are these acrylic covers over the clearing ports above the exhaust ports, which keeps the diesel smoke down and under the swim grid. Keeps her easier to clean. There is the factory swim ladder and she is equipped with weaver davits. There are custom weaver davits that you can install if you wish. They're on board. The present owner tows his dinghy. That dinghy is not included in the sale but can be negotiated separately. The non-skid surface in the cockpit is in excellent condition. The transom door is very wide on the 34. It's mounted on centerline, so it's very easy to get aboard and to get into the cockpit. You'll note that there's no stress cracking in the aperture for the transom door, which is unusual for a boat like this, but of course she's been completely rebuilt. You can see in the cockpit here, it's quite generous. There's lots of room. The owner has a custom umbrella to cover the cockpit for sunny days. Transom door fits perfectly and swings without issue. All the hardware was replaced. It's got molded steps on each side up to the side decks. A common problem with these boats is rot in the overhead. This has all been removed and replaced and rebuilt with fiberglass materials. So the wood has been removed, and the joint between the flybridge and the deck house has also been replaced with modern materials. She has the only exterior teak here, the teak treads, which have a grip agent on them, make it easier to get up and down. Over here to the port side, there is a mount for electronics if you wish to use it, and LED lighting. There is ventilation into the aperture up there, and you can actually see the white painted fiberglass instead of the old wood. This is where you can bring the wiring out for your extra screen if you wish it. I think we're going to start walking up the side deck here. Lots of stainless handholds. Very easy to do so. The molded in steps are very nice. During the rebuild process, all of the windows were removed from the vessel and they were serviced and replaced. The cabin sides, all of the interior core material in the cabin sides was also replaced. The side decks are broad and easy to walk on. There's a nice Nicro solar vent here for the head, stainless steel polished. Lots of room to move. There's a generous foredeck hatch and a Lumar 1000 watt windlass. She has 150 feet of 5/16 calibrated chain and 150 feet of rope spliced to it, so it passes right through. Deck switches are here. There's a 20 kilo rock nut anchor, which fits perfectly in the bowsprit. ITT Jabsco searchlights on the bow. All of the deck hardware has been polished and rebedded, and she has a brand new perforated cover over the front windows, which is to keep down the UV and the sun. The canvas enclosure on the bridge has lovely clear isinglass, and you'll see that later in the video when we're up on the bridge. You can store your fenders here if you like. The side decks again are wide, and there are cleats down each side, so tying up is easy. She's got LED stainless steel navigation lights and a new set of horns. Again, everything is proper and as it should be. The boat is covered in the winter. She comes with a winter cover, which covers the upper surfaces of the boat. That will be conveyed with the vessel, and the owner will instruct a buyer how that works. Once again, having the molded in steps makes it easier for people who are perhaps a little less agile to get around without too much trouble. Of course, we'll have a look at the flybridge and the interior as we go along. We'll have a closer look now at the cockpit and the features. There are 3 opening hatches in this one. The entire cockpit deck is actually removable. We pulled it out. It was rebuilt and recored. There are new polyethylene water tanks, 2 of them, 1 on each side under the deck. That's the fill for the port tank. And you can see that we have a Scotty mount and a power outlet for downriggers here. The cleats are recessed, which is nice. There's a rocket launcher for fishing, 1 on each side. The owner has a set of custom Weaver dinghy davits that he never used. We've never had a big dinghy on the back of this boat, which is really nice because, you know, these transoms on these boats often exhibit a lot of cracking and damage if a big dinghy's been aboard, but this one's in perfect shape. No issues with the transom door. It moves easily. It's completely watertight. Over on the starboard side, another rocket launcher. We have a SSI cockpit shower, so nice hot and cold water for after you're swimming. Heading forward, another Scotty mount water tank fill, and here we have the fill for the segregated fuel tank for the diesel furnace. So you have a separate fuel tank for the diesel furnace. Keeps it running really well. We of course have a smart plug here for the shore power inlet, and that's the washdown for the aft deck wash. You can attach a hose there. So up above we have LED lights above, and over here on the port side we'll have a quick look down in the locker. So we have these nice watertight closures. Everything inside here was rebuilt with fiberglass material. There is a electrical sub panel here. It's controlled from the main electrical panel. You can turn on the washdown pump and turn on and off each of the Scotty downrigger power outlets from here. And it has the circuit protection for that, so you don't have to leave your downrigger controls on all the time. This is a control for the trolling valves, so you can vary the speed. These are vernier controls from Cobalt Industries, custom stainless we had built, so you can control the speed while you're trolling of each engine. You can dial it up and down infinitely. I don't think we've ever used it, but it's there. On this side is our secret weapon. The boat has a very powerful diesel air furnace. It's an Webasto AT5000. It lives here in this dry locker, which was completely rebuilt. So it pulls fresh air from outside the boat, heats it, and puts it inside the boat. It's also extremely quiet. You don't hear it. It heats the inside of this boat like a blowtorch. You'll never have to worry about being cold on this boat. The windows, of course, were rebuilt. She has the Tollycraft door, which slides easily. There's a nice sunbrella cover on it, and of course the glass is in excellent condition. Okay, so we enter the salon here, and you're greeted with the lovely lawn seal flooring throughout. It's a synthetic teak and holly. Now this boat has been heavily modified from stock. Everything you see here is basically new. From the headliner to the lighting, everything, the valences, the lighting controls. She has a custom teak table here, which you can remove and put outside if you want. You can see the quality of the gorgeous base on the table. The lower helm on this vessel has been removed and replaced with a wet bar. There's low voltage lighting around the perimeter of the salon. The galley has been changed. The microwave oven is now inset in the panel, rather than being proud and sitting up here on the upper part of the dash. All the lighting in the boat is LED. There are teak effect mini blinds that can be retracted. And you'll note the galley, they used to have a double height refrigerator over there, and that's been changed to a new 2025 NovaCool unit, which is a side-by-side. I think we just installed that in the summer of 2025, so it's brand new. And you can see the condition of the unit. Well, it's a brand new refrigerator. Little freezer unit over on this side. This is a very efficient unit, and it does come with the more modern NovaCool locking system. So this opens up the corner of the salon. The upper valance and corner were changed to look just like the Tollycraft intended it to be at the beginning. You have varnished teak battens up here, and the low voltage lighting with LED inserts. The little pot lights all the way around are also LED. She has a lovely 3-burner Force 10 galley range with a butcher block top. It's in immaculate condition, as you can see. And controlling that, of course, is the Fireboy propane controller. There are 2 sensors. You can turn your propane on and off from down here, and it will automatically shut off if there's an issue. We have a double brushed stainless steel galley sink with a new faucet. And the stainless steel king heater is located here, and there's another one in the forward cabin, and that runs off shore power. And if you get an idea of all the work that's been done on this vessel, it's not just cosmetic, it's also systems. She's equipped with a Magnum Energy MS2812 pure sine inverter charger with the BMS, so you can tell the state of charge. The electrical panel has been modified. She has new fuel tanks and new water tanks and a new holding tank. So all of these have been changed. So you now have master battery switches. So you have bow thruster on or off. Engine start on or off. So she has the Blue Seas ML battery switch control system that allows you to turn the batteries on and off from right here, and the battery switches are located at the positive terminal of the batteries. We have a fuel gauge for our separate diesel tank, and then we have the holding tank gauge down here. Bilge pump switches have been changed from the old generator switches. We've just got switches down here, so there are 4 brand new bilge pumps on board. And down here we have an access for the tank top if you need to service your fuel sending unit. That's available for you right there. Now the furnace is the Webasto Airtop 5000. It's a forced air system, and we have outlets throughout the boat. Here's the forward one in the Salon, so we have a directable outlet in a nice teak valance. There's drawer storage underneath the berth. The berth pulls out into a full double bed. I'm not going to do that. So you have generous drawer storage here, here, and here. And then there's access at the top, so you can get in the corner and store things there. The main Salon outlet for the Webasto is located right here, so you can direct that any way you wish. There are Bose speakers for the stereo system. All of the cabin lighting is a modern Blue Sea system, so you can control by pressing this, you can control the intensity of the overhead lights. And then of course we have the valance lights here. So we'll just leave those on. On the forward upper valance, you have a CD stereo, a switch here which is the upper speakers and lower speakers select, and another sub panel for your lower VHF radio with 2 spares from Blue Seas. There is a Raymarine VHF radio here at the lower helm. It has its own antenna, and it hardly ever gets used, so it's just here as a backup. You have the clever lifting up hatch that admits light into the side stateroom. This is a 2 stateroom boat, so there's a bunk bed cabin on the port side down in the companionway. Now this is the lower helm, which is really cool, and I'd like to go over this in detail. So a lot was done here. We removed everything from the lower helm, and we put a translucent panel here to bring light into the head, right? Then we got a beautiful stainless steel deck prism here from a sailboat. We installed that here, and it admits more light into the head. Now the clever part of the lower helm is it's actually a wet bar. So you can drop this on a gas strut. You can store anything you like. So you got your little bar surface here, and it's all finished in teak, varnished to the same quality as the rest of the vessel. It's really very beautiful. And down here we have a backlit drinks locker. As you can see, there's rope lighting within there that keeps it very nice. So that's what we did with the lower helm, because on these boats the lower helm is absolutely useless. Really very cool. So new headliners above. All the windows were out and replaced. There are 3 opening panels in the floor. 1, 2, 3 for engine access, so it's really easy to get in there and work. And of course, we have the opening engine access, which is down here. The whole stairway lifts up, and we've reconfigured the vessel so you can go straight in through there or straight down through here. It's your choice. We have very generous drawer storage here. There's a pot and pan drawer underneath this galley range. The boat will be conveyed with most of the things you'll need to go boating right away. So you'll have utensils, dishes, pots and pans, all very neat. All the supplies you need to go boating right away. You can come collect the vessel. The owner has even gone and purchased fresh tea towels and oven mitts. Lovely storage here under the propane control system. This is where they keep their cleaning supplies, pots and pans, little trash can. Even more drawers over here. This one is just a adjustable height for whatever you need. Above the king heater, you've got some more items. There's some coffee cups and whatnot. And then there's a drop-down storage here for your dishes. She still retains the black Perspex cabinet here on the side. And you can see that the general condition is excellent. So I think that'll about do the Salon. Presently we have the brand new perforated cover on the front windows. It keeps the UV down. There's a ventilation fan here that's running. Lovely teak touches here. Just excellent. Give you a little look around. And there you go. It would be fun to show some photos of the refit project when we gutted the lower helm for the wet bar that I showed you. And here you'll have a picture of the overhead with all of the original headliner removed when we rewired for the low voltage lighting. So she was stripped right back to bare bones. So we'll go down into the forward cabin now. It's a lovely wide companionway, and there are 2 easy steps down. Again, that lovely lawn seal floor. There's a nice carpet here. Under the berth, you'll notice there are 6 rather generous drawers, a teak privacy door here, and a queen bed. And the bed has been completely removed from the vessel. In fact, everything in the front of this boat was pulled out to bare fiberglass. Everything was redone. The bow thruster was installed, and everything was put back in. So she has the Lumar 185 TT 12 volt bow thruster under the bed. It's really powerful. I'll give you an idea of what we're looking at here. Overhead hatch has the removable screen. Sorry, I'm getting in the mirrors here. That's probably not what you want to see. There's recesses for the opening ports on each side. There's a separate depth sounder here, which you can turn on at night and see how deep the water is while you're in your bunk. There are brackets here for speakers, which are not presently installed. They're wired to the stereo. LED lighting. Access to the anchor locker up front. Same on this side. You've got quite a large hanging locker here. All of the carpeting was replaced. The hull side carpeting has been upgraded from the Tollycraft Fun Fur to a nice low pile Berber. Again, this was all taken back to bare glass, ground, sealed, and replaced. It was a huge project. Another lovely hanging locker here. And when the bed was removed, we decided, in addition to building this beautiful teak, solid teak bed rail that goes all the way around,
is very easy to lift with just one hand. You can lift the bed and you get another good look. This solid teak rail actually goes all the way around the bed, and you have this wonderful storage down here. So the owner has provided monogrammed Tollycraft soft goods for the washroom, blankets, pillows. Everything is here for you, and it's ventilated. So you have vents under here to keep this area ventilated. Now, when this boat first came to us 25 years ago, there was air conditioning installed here. That's been removed. So it's just good storage space now. We'll put that down. I'd like to point out that on each side of the bed here, you have the heat vent for the Webasto hot air system. And there's one over here as well. And then you have a nice new king heater on this side. So yeah, there's a CO detector here on the wall and a dressing mirror, and there's lots of room here to get around, even though the bed's quite a bit bigger than it would be on a standard 34 Tolly. Condition of the teak work is excellent all the way around. This one actually is nice because it has all of the door frames are also teak. The door to the head is teak, and the privacy door to the guest cabin is teak. So we'll carry on with a look at the head. Okay, so into the head, we got a lovely teak door here with brass hardware. There's a few things different from a standard Tolly 34. The first thing you'll notice, there's a lot that's different, is we have a full custom-built fiberglass headliner in here. These boats normally had the same kind of, vinyl, and you can imagine with all of the steam coming out of the shower, that turns into a mess. So this is a custom-made vinyl headliner, and it's absolutely amazing because we also have the deck prism that I talked about before. So that brings in a ton of light to the head, and that's a lovely sailboat touch. She has the really great Formica tops and teak timbre below, nice drawer. You've got brand new teak timbre here on the back behind the vanity top. Now down here we have a Nature's Head composting toilet, and the owner reports that he loves it, and he's been cruising with this thing for 10 years and he thinks it's great. There's no smell, there's no odor, there's no nothing in this boat. So this is a really terrific item. I don't know that much about it, except I installed this 20 years ago on this boat, and it apparently has just been fantastic and it works great. So we did all this work for our previous owner, who was a client of ours for many years. Get a good look at the interior of the hull. You can see everything's in great shape. You've got a stainless steel through hull there. The general condition is excellent. So there's no surprises here. All the timbre works great. The shower door is a glass door, and you've got a nice shower here with its own sump and a handheld wand. There is a fan in the shower here, up here, and of course there's also a light. So a nice big stall shower. It's a terrific layout. And if we move over into the guest cabin, which is directly across the hallway, we have the standard arrangement here, which is a bunk bed arrangement. We do have that nice overhead hatch here that admits light. You can close that, of course, on a strut stay. Nice teak door here. So this is a great place for your friends or the grandkids can come. That's what this owner uses it for. The lower bunk is great. The hull side carpeting, of course, was replaced with the low pile Berber again, so no more Tollycraft fun fur here. One thing you'll notice, however, is the box here. This teak box was accommodating the microwave oven, so you lose a little bit of room there, but you gain it up above. Got a great big storage in here. The owner stores spare items. No life jackets will be conveyed with the vessel, So you bring your own. There's some extra screens for the side windows down in here. Spare parts. This teak ladder is removable, and it's just to help the little ones get up to the upper bunk. So you can take that off. It just moves aside. You have 3 generous drawers below and plenty of storage. So it's a nice cabin because you've got a nice port over there, and the owner still has the extra hull vent, which is apparently unobtainium now, color matched to the gel coat of the vessel in case there's any accidents. They got spare parts like that. Behind the door, of course, is a dressing mirror. So it's a nice little cabin. And, you know, I think it would be great for grandkids or occasional guests. And plenty of space. Well, there's 2 ways to enter the engine room. From the top, you can open the 3 floor hatches. And I've taken the center one out just for ease of maintenance. We spent a great deal of time working on this boat. The fuel tanks were replaced, the engines were replaced, the stringers were replaced. The entire belly of the boat was taken down to bare fiberglass, re-gel coated. The stringers were reconfigured and re-gel coated, and new aluminum mounts for the engines were created. So the boat was originally delivered with the Crusader 454, and she was going about 10 knots and burning about 22 gallons an hour. Now she cruises at about 15 knots at 2200 RPM and only burns about 9 gallons an hour. A great deal of effort was created here to use non-burning material. There's a lot of metal in here. We didn't use a lot of plastic. Most of these structures, like the battery trays you can see down there, this structure here, which is the house battery box, is made out of a material called Extren, which is a pultruded fiberglass board, and it's fire rated. So all of these structures are fiberglass. You can see underneath. So there's no chance of rot. Fire risk is extremely low. And we did everything to try to make the boat as safe as possible, and our client insisted on that. So over here on the port side, we have our electrical center, which is our Magnum 2812 pure sine inverter. We have a backup battery charger here, which is a Xantrex TrueCharge 20 amp, and that charges the start batteries. Now, if there's an issue with the Magnum Energy inverter, we have a special switch here, and you can open this little guard and raise that breaker, and this battery charger will then charge the house bank as well, so it can be isolated. All of the house loads are protected by this large circuit breaker here. The windlass main is protected here. There's an inverter master fuse and service switch, and it's very close to the inverter. The Magnum BMS unit is over there, and this is obviously the inverter shutoff and service switch. There's LED lighting in here. I'm going to show you a detail of the new port fuel tank. The starboard is the same. There's no question of tank problems with this vessel because these tanks were replaced, and they are epoxy coated aluminum. So every other Tollycraft of this era, you're risking a major tank issue. On this one, no such issue. Both tanks replaced. All of the structures in the bilge, again, are fiberglassed in. They're Extren material. So this web here, which isolates the engine bilge, is Extren. An aluminum piece is here to support the Groco main engine sea strainer for the port engine. Small details like even this strut that holds up the roof is no longer the Tollycraft piece of timber. It's a welded aluminum strut with a welded aluminum holder for your overflow tank. So we were very fortunate. We had a welder on staff who did all this work for us, and he would just come down and make all these components for us. So it's twinned over here on this side, the aluminum strut. There are 2 more behind me. All of the aluminum engine mounts, heavy duty and through bolted through the stringer. The stringers are new, heavy stringers. You can see all of this was fiberglass together when the boat was being put back together. There are bilge pumps forward and aft in the engine room. There's a 2,000 gallon per hour rule pump here in the front. This is the sniffer for the propane detection system in the engine room. There's another one in the galley. Inside here is a tube which stores a spare propeller shaft for the vessel. Right? So she carries a spare propeller shaft and 2 spare propellers. So this is a rule-mate pump. It's an integrated float switch, 1,100 gallons per hour. Over on this side is the fire suppression system. You have a 10-gallon Torrid hot water tank and a Sensor Max water pump. You can see the other fuel tank, same condition, in new condition, properly cribbed in, epoxy coated aluminum tank. This is the forward flow sensor for the flow scan system. There is a wash out system here. You can undo that and wash out the cooling system on the engine. Again, the front of the engine, we have the Extran bulkhead glass to the hull, the aluminum holding the Groco sea strainer. So the battery system on the boat, the electrical system, was made to be safe and also made to be easy to use. So we've used 5 in total of these Blue Sea Systems battery switches, which are remotely controlled from the Salon. So you can turn off the power supply to every system on the boat from the Salon panel. And I think I showed you that previously. You can see the up here, I'm going to get my finger in there, right at the top. Those are the switches that control that. All right. So there are 3 AGM Energy One, what we call suitcase style house batteries here, with room for 1 more if you chose, under the Extran cover. All of the wiring, as you can see, is anchor boat cable. Primary wiring is 4/0, and then you have secondary and tertiary wiring at 2/0 and smaller as required. So everything on the boat has a fuse. The port start battery down here, this is a Group 31 AGM battery in this box. There is a maxi fuse there that protects the battery and the starter. Over here you have the remote control battery switch, and we have a metal junction box here. So if there's a fire, you have a lot more time to shut this switch off, because this metal box will protect the junction for the control system. And there's one of those on each of the switches. So there's one here. There's a metal junction box over here for the fuel level junction box, and it's labeled. Flow scan return metal junction box. Over here, the house battery switch junction is again in a metal box. You have a Blue Sea Systems unswitched power for the bilge pumps, fuses. There's the remote battery switch, and over here is the house bank master fuse. So you have large fuses that protect everything. This is the house bank main wire. It's only 7 inches long. That's within code. We have a small Velox transducer down here in the hull, which is for the little depth sounder, which is up in the bow. Entirely separate system. On this side, we have the Bravo 744 bronze triducer, which is for the helm system. So that's depth, speed, and temperature. This is the bow thruster remote switch with a metal junction box. The bow thruster has its fuse located right here, and the starboard start battery fuse is here. Unswitched power, and here is the battery switch for the starboard engine and its metal junction box. So there are 2 Group 31 batteries, and when the engines are running, they run in parallel, and that allows you to run your bow thruster at full power with both Group 31 batteries. And there's 4/0 cable running towards the bow, protected by the thruster fuse and the thruster breaker, or I should say thruster high current control switch. Okay, that's a lot to take in. I'm going to try and turn around now to get to the back of the engine room so you can see what's going on here. So we've got an 1100 gallon per hour stripping pump in the front of the engine room. Okay, and I'm going to try to turn around here between the two 6 BTA Cummins. There's another pump in the back of the engine room. And what you're looking at now, as I'm trying to get my old body to turn, is a couple of 800 series ray cores, which feed the main engines. Okay, so the main engines are Cummins 12 valve 5.9s. So they're the 6 BTA 5.9 M1. So they've got the smaller intercooler. They're rated at 250 horsepower each. The engines have just under 1,000 hours. They're equipped with the ZF 63A transmission, 1.22 to 1 ratio, with trolling valves. There are brand new stainless steel exhausts. They were just done recently with silicone hose out to the back. So she has new exhaust system as well. One of the engines was replaced under warranty due to a problem about 400 hours ago. On this side, we have the circulating block heater. We've got the PSS shaft seal, which is the dripless shaft seal. We have shaft brushes. We have pyrometer exhaust gas temperature probes in both engines, post-turbo. She has the AirSep air filtration system. And a clever item we talked about on the bridge, we have that heating system. So there's a heat exchanger back here. This long tube is a heat exchanger. And so that allows heated coolant to go up to the bridge to a blower unit to keep you warm up on the bridge when you're running the boat. But that coolant does not mingle with the engine coolant. It's separated by the heat exchanger. Engine oil is changed constantly. The owner is a ex-wide-body airline pilot, so he's very keen on keeping things in good shape. There's another circulating block heater installed down here. You can keep your engines warm in the winter if you choose. Yeah, so you can see how heavy-duty the engine mounting system is. Very fortunate to have an exceptionally good fabricator on site when all this work was taking place. So to sum up, this boat's been in service now for about 17 years with all of this equipment. We've never had any trouble other than the one engine being replaced. She's very safe, lots of redundant systems. She has new fuel tanks, new stringers, newer engines. Everything's been replaced. So I'm hoping that that can give you an idea of what the engine room is like on this boat. A lot of care went into it. She's been largely rewired. And she's a pretty good bet for anyone looking for a nice Tolly 34. So a great deal of work went into this region of the boat. The water tanks were removed. The rudders were removed, everything. So the same work we did in the engine room was done back here in the Lazarette. She's got newer stainless steel rudders with stainless steel tillers on both sides. She has a new steering ram. There's a 2,000 gallon per hour Rule bilge pump back here with a float switch. And all of the same X-Trend material is present here too. Trim tab pump, all of the hoses back here were replaced. There's a cover here for covering the steering ram. So all of the hoses were replaced with sanitation hose for draining the cockpit. Everything there is new. The whole exhaust system is new. The mufflers were replaced. We have new fiberglass tubes up to the main section. All of these deck plates below us here are made of the Extrend material, so that's all in excellent condition. There's plenty of storage down here. The owner keeps all of his stuff in here. You can see there's a brand new water tank in there, and the first owner's name is still there. And the other water tank is over here. I'm trying to do this while hanging over on my side. I'm sorry about this. So you got two new water tanks and a nice open space for storage in the center. The entire belly of this boat was exposed. Everything that was made of wood was removed, and she was gel coated. Over on this side, more storage. The plumbing for the cockpit showers here. This is the fuel tank for the diesel furnace. So this owner has run kerosene in his diesel furnace since we got it, and that's why it runs so beautifully. Again, everything here, you've got the new certified fiberglass tube for the exhaust. The exhausts were redone because they were cracked. The entire bonding system is new on the vessel. You can see that it is 8-gauge anchor boat cable with heat shrink ends and closed tinned lugs. So the bonding system's new. This boat's never had any problem with the bonding system at all. In fact, you can see right here where the bonding system joins the zinc on the back and then runs forward to the rest of the vessel. On the longer runs of the bonding system, it changes to a 6-gauge line to go to the next compartment, where it then branches off. So that's all been redone. You can see the condition of the bonding system on the rudder here. This boat is made to survive without too much extra work. The owner has a system where he uses a 2-kilowatt Honda generator as his generator, and he has custom cords to plug that into the boat's shore power receptacle. So this entire cockpit deck was renewed. It was removed, re-cored, and put back down. You can see, just for fun, I'm going to show you around the hatch, because most of these boats are completely stress cracked up around here, and this one has none of that. She's really in super shape. The bottom of the hatch, or I should say the transom door, again, terrific condition. So maybe what we'll do now is we'll head up to the bridge and give you a look up there. Okay, so we're back up here on the bridge. I know we looked at this in our sea trial. I'll try again. A lot of work was done up here with the boat. The bridge sides were rebuilt all the way around. The whole dash was removed and refiberglassed to flat. So it was a refiberglassed and re-gel coated, and we installed all of the new equipment here. So we started with a fresh flat panel. We got rid of all of the old Tollycraft switches, those old orange breaker switches, which are all broken by now. We put our own switches in, new electronics, new wiring. She has a couple of these lovely flex steel helm chairs, which are adjustable in almost every way you can imagine, so they can go up, down, back and forth. They're wonderfully comfortable. That was a special item. The owner had a relationship with the people there at Night Hill Automotive. We're the flex steel dealer. There's a pair of the Bose speakers up front, and they have the Acoustimass bass tunnel behind them, so they sound really great. I'd like to demonstrate, before we get into the electronics and the controls, our heating system that we have for the bridge. You'll notice that there's 2 vents up on the front, and then there's a vent down here next to our fire extinguisher. So these are all closable, and of course we are using the stainless steel covers for our electrical outlets. So those 3 vents are attached to a squirrel cage blower, which is installed under the front here. Now I'm going to try and show this to you. The upholstery up here, as you can see, is in excellent shape, and there's lots of storage below. But behind one of these there is I think it's this one. Lots of storage up under the bridge anyway. There is a squirrel cage fan and a header tank, and a mag drive pump. So it pumps coolant up from that heat exchanger in the engine room and blows it through the squirrel cage. And so how you work it is like this. So you've got a switch here you pull for heat. And you hear that sound, that's the little pump. So now it's cycling the coolant through that heat exchanger. So when your engines are warm, you have a 3-position Heatercraft blower. So now we're blowing air, and it comes blasting out of these two. There's a plane going overhead right when I'm doing this, but it's very quiet, but it heats the whole bridge. And you get a very powerful airflow from this one here. So you can see like it's trying to blow the thing there. So that's how that heating system works. So I'll turn it off again. So you regulate the temperature just with the fan speed. We do have the Raymarine E120 Classic. So that's a fish finder, chart plotter radar. And you can, of course, add cameras to it if you wish. It does have the radar overlay function, which is what we're demonstrating right now, which is really nice. And that integrates with the ST4000S, ST6002 hydraulic autopilot, which has a rudder angle indicator built into it. You can just see the little rudder angle indicator there. Works great. Lumar bow thruster, presently not turned on, but we have our bow thruster control here. Cummins gauges. So you've got the usual gauges, hour meter, RPM, fuel flow for the flow scan, some warning lights, a silencing button for the alarms, and these are the pyrometers. So these tell you the exhaust gas temperature of the engines, and you watch those very carefully. Control for the Fireboy firefighting system, Ray 54 VHF radio, and then we've got our Cobalt control. So it's a single lever control. These are solid bronze with chromed, and so into gear, and then the more you push it, the more power you get. So very positive. Normally you'd see these on a workboat, but you really like it when you've got them. The wiring was all replaced under the dash, and I'll show you how we protect all of the bridge wiring here. As you open this panel, and we have coming up from below, all of our circuits are here on this fuse panel, and they're clearly marked. So that's how we tried to do it, and it's worked out very well. We haven't had any problems in the last 17 years of operating the boat. You've got great visibility aft when you're backing down. This owner stands next to his engine controls here. He puts one hand on the controls and he just backs down like this. The 6BTA Cummins have a lot of torque, and so you never have to go for the throttles around the dock. It's really nice. So I'm going to show you our propane installation now, because this boat was originally an electric boat and we converted it for a certified propane installation. It's certified, inspected, and insured. So hold tight and I'll get to that. Okay, the propane installation. On the aft port corner of the Flybridge, we have a fiberglass taco box, which is a certified propane enclosure, fire resistant fiberglass. You open it up, and inside you have two 10-pound vertical aluminum cylinders, and they're held in here by a hold down. It has a pressure gauge, a regulator, and the solenoid control for the Zintex, or I should say, forgive me, the Fireboy system that's installed in the galley. So when you ask for propane in the galley, that little solenoid opens up, and when you tell it to stop, that solenoid will then close. If either of the two propane detectors within the boat sense any kind of flammable gas, they will automatically shut off that solenoid for you. So it's a nice safe system to have, and it doesn't get in the way. It is a certified installation, so you get to have that beautiful propane range down in the galley. Well, I guess we better head out for the sea trial now. knots. What's the RPM? RPM? 2200 RPM, 16 knots. Well, it's okay. Okay, we're out here in the English Bay, and you can see how lovely the clarity of the screens are. This is a fresh isinglass all the way around. It's got an opening panel in the center there. So great optical clarity in the enclosure, lots of ventilation. And this is how the owner usually drives his boat. He's going along at around 8.7 knots at just under 1300 RPM. The sound level here on the bridge, you can see that. So we're equipped here with a really nice panel. It's got the hydraulic steering with a custom stainless wheel with the necker knob. We have a beautiful set of cobalt solid bronze controls. We've got the control for the Lumar 185 TT 12 volt bow thruster. Newer VDO Cummins gauges with the flow scan on both sides. So this is the flow scan digital series. The engines are showing 975 hours. Over here we have a Raymarine ST4000 Plus gyro autopilot. When the boat was built, we actually had pyrometers installed, so we have exhaust gas temperature on both engines, both VDO Cockpit series. Nice Ritchie compass. We have here a Raymarine E120 Classic with a 2 kilowatt closed array radar, so it does radar overlay. You know, you've got the charting, there's your radar overlay, you can see it coming up. It's got a fish finder. So it's a great system. You can page it and select whatever you like. Other controls, stop and start. Got a bilge blower here, heat control, which we'll go over later. Air horns, lighting. So all of the old Tollycraft gauges have been removed, and the switches, those old orange plastic switches, are gone. This whole panel was made new and fresh again with fiberglass, and we recessed all of the new Cummins instrumentation into it at the time. You have a searchlight control down here and a Raymarine VHF. So we're just steaming along on the Pilot, and we'll look out over the back and you can see how accurate it is. She's going straight as an arrow. Okay, so here we have a really terrific 11-foot AB Nautilus DLX yacht tender. It's a fiberglass hull with Hypalon tubes. It has a 40 E-Tech on the back with a 4-blade stainless propeller. Sorry about the airplane. It has a Evinrude binnacle control, or I should say side mount control, forgive me. Built-in bilge pump, built-in battery charger. It has a fish finder / chart plotter, which is presently removed. So this is a yacht tender. So it's a deep V fiberglass hull. I'm going to jump down there. General conditions excellent. It's got some modifications for fishing. There's an aluminum mount here for your downrigger. In the boat, we have the plug-in for the battery charger, under-seat storage, nice and neat, water separating filter, bilge pump, battery, built-in fuel tank, and the battery isolation switch. Lots of storage under here. You carry the spare fuel tank. Upholstery's in really nice shape. Up front we have the anchor and the original AB pump for filling the dinghy. There's the access to the back of the helm compartment in reasonable order. Boat has navigation lights, safety gear, and there is a road trailer included with the boat. It's available now in Vancouver, and she's ready to go.
If you've made it this far, I just want to say thanks so much for following along. Our contact information is on the screen here. Other information will appear below the video in the information section. Please feel free to give us a call. The boat's easy to view in Vancouver, BC. Come on up. I'd be happy to show you over her, and perhaps we can even go for a quick boat ride. I hope you have a great day. Thank you.